You know, when you get to my age, you start looking back a lot, more than you look forward. And I'll be honest with you, sitting here at 82 years old, there's this weight on my chest that I carry every single day. It's not my heart. The doctors say my heart is fine. It's regret. That word, regret. You know, when you're young, you think regret is something that happens to other people, weak people, people who didn't try hard enough. But nobody tells you that regret can also come from trying too hard at the wrong thing. And that's my story. I grew up poor. I mean really poor. Like holes in your shoes, one meal a day kind of poor. My father worked at a factory. My mother cleaned houses. And every single night I watched them come home exhausted, broken, and still not enough money to pay the bills. I told myself, I will never live like this. I was maybe 12 years old when I made that promise to myself. And you know what? That promise, it drove me like a fire inside me that never went out. By the time I was in my 20s, I had a plan. Work hard, earn money, build something, give my family everything I never had. And that sounds good, right? That sounds like the American dream. But here's what nobody tells you about dreams. Sometimes the dream becomes a cage. I met my wife Patricia when I was 28. She was something else. Beautiful, warm, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and just make it brighter. We got married after a year, and I remember on our wedding day, she held my face in her hands and she said, "Promise me you'll be present. Promise me you'll be here." And I said yes. Of course I said yes. But, you know, I thought being here meant providing, paying the mortgage, buying the groceries, sending the kids to good schools. I thought love was a transaction. You give money, you give security. That is love. I was so wrong. Patricia would ask me to come to dinner. I'd say, "Give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes became 2 hours. She'd ask me to come to our son Daniel's baseball game. I'd say, "I'll try to make it," and then I wouldn't make it. She'd reach for my hand in the evening, and I'd already be on the phone or looking at spreadsheets. And she'd just go quiet. You know, at the time I told myself, she understands. She knows I'm doing this for us. But she wasn't quiet because she understood. She was quiet because she was slowly giving up. By my 40s, I had built a real business, manufacturing, about 60 employees, good revenue, real money. And from the outside, everything looked perfect. Nice house, 2 cars, kids in private school, vacations every year. Well, vacations where I brought my briefcase, but vacations nonetheless. People looked at me and said, "Harold, you've really made it." And I believed them. I was at the office by 6 a.m. and home by 9 or 10 at night, sometimes later, weekends too. And I told myself, this is temporary. Once we hit this next milestone, I'll slow down. But the milestone always moved. That's the thing about money that nobody warned you about. The finish line, it's not real. It keeps moving, and you keep running. My son Daniel, he's 54 now, he told me something a few years ago that broke me. He said, "Dad, I used to practice my pitching every evening, hoping you'd come outside and watch. Just once. You never did." I didn't know that. For 30 years, I didn't know that. My daughter Susan, she said she used to call the office just to hear my voice. And my secretary would say, "He's in a meeting," every time. "He's in a meeting." She stopped calling eventually. You know, kids don't make announcements when they stop needing you. They just quietly stop. And I missed all of it. Their childhoods, their struggles, their little victories. My son's first heartbreak, I wasn't there. My daughter's school play where she had the lead role, I sent flowers instead of showing up. Flowers to a 10-year-old girl who just wanted her father in the audience. Patricia, she stayed. For 31 years she stayed. But staying and being happy are two very different things. By the time we were in our mid-50s, we were more like roommates, polite, functional, but the warmth, the connection, it had slowly, quietly died. She never screamed at me. She never gave me ultimatums. She just faded, and I was so busy that I didn't even notice until it was almost gone. One evening, I remember this so clearly. I came home and she was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of tea, just looking out the window. And I walked in and she looked at me and there was just nothing in her eyes. Not anger, not sadness, just nothing. That scared me more than anything. We tried counseling. We really did try. But you can't rebuild 20 years of distance in a few sessions. She passed away at 71, a stroke, sudden. And I keep thinking about all the evenings I could have sat with her. All the mornings I could have had coffee with her instead of rushing out the door. All the time she reached for my hand and I was somewhere else in my mind. I can never get those back. It's funny, you know, I worked 40 years to build financial security, and I achieved it. But the moment that hit me the hardest wasn't a loss of money. It was at Patricia's funeral. People stood up and talked about her kindness, her laugh, the way she made everyone feel seen and loved. And I sat there thinking, I lived with this woman for 31 years, and I barely knew her. She had a whole inner world, hopes and fears and dreams and disappointments. And I was so busy that I never asked. I never just sat down and said, "Patricia, what do you want? What makes you happy? What are you afraid of?" I never asked. So, why am I telling you all this? I'm 82 years old. I have money in the bank. I have a nice house. I have everything I spent 40 years chasing, and I sit here alone most evenings. I want you to hear this, really hear it, because I'm saying it, so maybe you don't have to learn it the hard way like I did. You know, I thought money would make me feel something, safe, worthy, happy. But money doesn't feel anything. It just sits there. The feeling you're chasing, it's not in the bank account. It never was. Not your salary, not your title, not your house. You. Being there. Physically, emotionally, mentally, there. Your kids don't remember what you bought them. They remember whether you showed up. I told myself Patricia would always be there. I told myself my kids understood. And they did wait. They waited a long time. But patience runs out. And sometimes by the time you're ready to show up, the moment has already passed. I slowed down when Patricia died, when my body started giving me warnings. But I wish, God, I wish, I had chosen to slow down instead of being forced to. You can choose to slow down right now, today, before something takes the choice away from you. I don't share this because I want your sympathy. I share this because I see so many of you out there working late, canceling plans, telling your kids next weekend, telling your partner when things slow down. And I want to grab you by the shoulders and say, please, please don't wait. The money will come and go. The deals will come and go. But your daughter's childhood, that goes once. Your father's last good years, once. The quiet mornings with your partner while you're both still healthy, once. You don't get those back. I'm 82. I have everything I worked for. And some evenings, you know, I'd trade every last dollar of it for one more dinner with Patricia, one baseball game with Daniel, one school play with Susan in the front row. Just one. Don't be me. That's all I wanted to say. Take care of yourselves and take care of the people who love you, because that's the wealth that actually matters.